We don't play this weekend, but Leeds United have already had a tremendous start to the weekend. This game week, people, Leeds United cannot go below the top two in the championship. But can we do better and start pulling away? That is the question that we've got today. Listen, people, like the video, subscribe to the channel, of course. Drop your comments, your score predictions, and everything below. This is going to be the Burnley preview. Also, I've got my team that I think it's going to be, bar one player, of course. But yeah, we're going to get into it today, man. So hope everyone's having a good weekend, stress-free. We don't play till Monday. I'm going to enjoy the weekend's festivities of football. Let's go, baby. Let's go. MGX saying here, what an opportunity for us. Burnley game is massive on Monday to create a points cushion, 100. Annabelle saying morning. Michael in the house saying morning. Gavin here saying Sunderland will smash Plymouth today. They're there to be smashed, and they've been smashed again in the transfer market, which I'll get to as well. But listen, people, one thing that we didn't see coming, I mean, I didn't see coming, let me speak for myself, was this result last night. And I watched the game, and it wasn't as if like Hull battered Sheffield United. It wasn't that. They were just efficient. They had 8 shots, 5 on target, got 3 of them in, or 2 of them in, I should say. Own goals don't count, do they? But every time they went forward, they looked like they posed a threat. Sheffield United were without Gus Harmer, which is obviously a big deduction from any team at this level, but they still had their new 10 million shiny toy in Tom Cannon playing. Guess it's going to take a little bit for him. You know, Chris Wilder at the end was saying, you know, he's got a week to be with the group next week. But they still had more than enough to beat Hull City yesterday, and Hull City just picked them apart. And listen, shout out to Joe Gelhardt. He was battling yesterday, especially with Peck, who's a very, very wily character. You know what I mean? He's a bit of an S-house on the pitch. And Joe Gelhardt just stood up to him, man. He was given as good as he got. And it was some good performances for Hull. It wasn't like when they scored 3 against us and we literally gifted them goals. They worked hard for their goals. Lovely finish from Matt Crooks to begin. Lovely counter-attack, by the way. And yeah, just good stuff for them, man. John here saying Gelhardt will come good. I have no doubts that he will be a good player. It just won't be at Leeds United. So hopefully that he continues his impressive loan, because he's done really well so far, and we can get a permanent transfer away from him in the summer. I think it's just going to be best for all parties. He's not going to flourish the way that he's playing. He plays with a freedom. It's like so many players that have come to this football club before, especially when it's not going well for them. It gets a little heavy, it gets a little bit too much. When they go away to a club where the spotlight isn't really there, like Hull City, they're fine. They can play with a bit more freedom, and that's what we've seen with Joe Gelhardt. It looks like the shackles have been taken off him, and he's playing with, I mean, he was dribbling with the ball last night with, with purpose. He wasn't doing that here. When he did get his sporadic opportunities, he was doing the short passing, as obviously instructed by the manager, where he just didn't want to make a mistake. He's obviously been given more of a license there. But listen, he was great yesterday. Cody Drame did his thing as well, another ex-Leeds guy. Shout out to Hull, man. Shout out to Hull. And it leaves the table unimaginably looking like this. I did not expect to see this as we walk today, but this is the way it is. Shout out to them. And listen, Chris Wilder, he tried to put it as a one-off and just saying, I'm not going to berate my players just for one loss, but 3-0 against Hull City at home, I'd be going absolutely ballistic. I'm not. Can everyone see me? Uh-oh. 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 Am I here? Am I here? Oh my God. Wi-Fi sounds as good as my voice there. Listen, I'm having to do this. I'm having to do this right now just in case my voice conks out later today. It's not going to be like last year, people, where I go off for 2 months, I hope. But yeah, listen, Gavin, AOL offline. Okay, now I can't press stuff. Guys, I can see you in the chat. I can see that I'm back as well. So let me move on, because I can't be here too long anyway today. Who should I go next? Let's go on to some good news. Let me go on to some good news. We've got some great news when it comes to loans. Absolutely brilliant. And this one straight off the bat, because I know a few of you have asked about this, especially in light of Tottenham's injury situations and everything else like that. Angie's one-word answer is Spurs could consider recalling Manor Solomon or Brian Gill this month. And he said no. So it doesn't look like there's any option or any chance or anything like that of this happening. And I think if Spurs were to call him back, they would have done it by now, especially in the form he's in. You look at Mano Solomon against Timo Werner. I mean, there's no competition. Mano Solomon is clearly the superior player. Timo Werner is a speed merchant, absolute pace merchant, and nothing else. Can't finish, can't cross, cannot pass. He's a disaster. But yeah, so listen, for anyone worrying, Mano Solomon will be here from now till the end of the season. So don't worry, don't worry. Um, the Wi-Fi is fine. I don't know what just happened there. Look, it's technical difficulties. It happens live streaming. You know what I mean? I don't get the joys of putting this in a bow in a little podcast with editing. You get what you get, people. You know what I mean? Live and raw. You know what I'm saying? Um, the next one, which is another bit of good news, because again, this is the one that's been asked about as well. On Jack Harrison, David Moyes says he doesn't think anyone can fault his effort or his energy. He's probably lost some confidence, which they need to get back, but it might take a bit of time. People, doesn't that feel like rinse and repeat with Mr. Jack Harrison? Haven't we seen and heard this how many years in a row when he was at this football club? Face in the air, oh, low confidence, doing nothing of note on the pitch. Never changes. Again, another one that I get right. Sorry, sometimes you just have to pat yourself on the back and go, I know what I'm talking about. This player has not changed one iota. And going to Everton, he's been the same player that he was at Leeds United, except for that his numbers are lower. You know, and listen, he plays at a wing back position at times because he doesn't do nothing when he's playing on the wing. And it's that simple. You don't get pushed back into defense if you're a productive winger. It doesn't happen. So listen, on that note, it does look like Jack Harrison doesn't have a recall clause. They cannot terminate the loan, and it looks like he will be staying at Everton. Thank you very much, because we don't need him back. We don't need him back. He's nowhere near. When you look at the left wingers by themselves, Ramazani, Solomon, he's not getting past any of those two. It's just not happening. So listen, Jack Harrison's gonna have to stick it out. Everton fans are gonna have to continue being frustrated with him. Listen, all you have to do is go to look at some Everton fan comments about Jack Harrison. It will look like it's just Leeds fans talking about him. You know, the ones that could see through all the little hot spells that he had. And it's like rinse and repeat with this guy. Fault is effort and energy. Guy's big, 27, 28 years old, man. And we're still talking about him like he's 21 years old. Crazy. Probably lost some confidence. But listen, people, the main thing is no Jack Harrison for us. Going on to Burnley, one player that won't be turning out for them is Morgan Whittaker, who has gone to Middlesbrough for a reported fee of around around 6 million. So remember when Morgan Whittaker was being bandied around for like 12, 15 million? Well, obviously it gets lower as the time goes on. Obviously Plymouth's position says something, as well as the player who's obviously pushed for a move out. He joins playoff hopefuls Middlesbrough. So there you go. Morgan Whittaker sweepstakes are over. Good luck to him. That's all I'll say. There you go. Yeah, great for Swansea. Lovely for that. Lovely for them. Annabelle saying here, and I warned my Everton friend about him. Listen, we all the sensible people said it about Jack Harrison. He was never going to change his spots. The only thing I hoped for was that he'd get one of those hot spells, boost his numbers up so we can get a good transfer fee in whichever summer will be, and we can move on from that kind of mediocre. That's the mediocre era for me. A lot of people don't like saying it about that era, but it was so meaty. Like a lot of those players, if you're going to go through, and we'll do it one day, they don't get into any best Leeds 11 of all time. They don't. It was a lot of meaty players that were propped up by a great coach who got every ounce of juice out of those guys that he could, but they were meaty players, and he's just another one of them for me. Never fulfilled his potential anywhere. But listen, he's having a good career. Can't knock him. He's still a Premier League player. But yeah, don't want to see him back at Leeds United at all. Moving on to Burnley, people. This is going to be a good game. No. It's going to be an interesting game. I'll give you my score prediction in a bit, but it's going to be a tough one, man. And listen, Scott Parker's been talking about this himself. We all understand the magnitude of this game. It's two teams that have done very well this season. We're playing against a really excited side who've been together for around 18 months. Just giving that caveat in there, just to say if they lose, they've been together a little bit longer. Those are the margins. They've got some real quality. It will be defined on the fine margins. And listen, the fine margins could be James Trafford versus Elan Melier. We know what the margins are in this game because the teams itself. I don't think that Burnley are an outstanding team individually. I don't look at a lot of their players and go, "Oh, I like this guy." But as a collective, they work very well, and their defensive record cannot be argued with. 9 goals conceded is absolutely brilliant at any level. At any level you want to name, that is a brilliant record to have. So in terms of that, obviously, I'm cutting out here James Trafford, who's like the main man. Zion Fleming's done very well recently. And of course, we know Josh Brownhill is good for a goal from midfield at this level. So it's going to be a real good, like interesting game. And Paul here saying a draw is fine. Now, listen, I would never agree with this. I would always say go out to win. And I still think we could win every game that we play in this league. But at this point, especially with that Sheffield United result, a draw would not be the worst result in the world. Now, of course, there's context involved in that. If we're battering or bussing the game, and we're 1-0 ahead, holding on to a slender lead, and then the 93rd minute, Burnley score, that's going to be disappointing. You'd hope that you come out with 3 points. But if we're on the back foot, Burnley score first, which isn't out of the realm of possibility, and we come back for a draw, it's a great point. You know what I mean? So there's obviously different context to it, but a point away at Burnley isn't the worst result. But it would be nice, though. What I will say is it will be nice to get 3 points off them because I feel we need to get them back for the Ellen Road, result that we had, which, apart from a little mistake from Solomon, which that shouldn't be the main mistake because there was a lot of work to do before they scored the goal. And of course, we had what was his name, Sarmiento, with the putting the L in Ellen Road. So we need to get Alec back with this one. But in terms of the realism of the game, a point wouldn't be the worst result. Of course, it wouldn't. Gavin saying here we'll have to play an 8-1-1 formation to protect the keeper. David here saying don't want to watch a game like West Brom. I hear that. Harlem Show saying crapping it regarding our goalkeeper as always. Harlem also saying he only want to win. Let's go. Listen, of course you want to win. That but of course, me having to be the football man I am, I have to be realistic and say if you come away from Turf Moor on a Monday night game where they've done excellent at Turf Moor themselves, it's not the worst result in the world. That's all I'm saying. And also as well, just to get some points off them, because we didn't get 3 points against Blackburn at any point this season. It would be nice to take some points off some teams that have already taken points of us in that regard too. And it just helps build up a clear gap, what I feel that we need just to pull away from this 4-team pack that is going on right now. We don't need to be entrenched in that. I feel that we can pull away. And listen, a win at Burnley does help you out with that. They could have John Joe Shelby. I think he may make the bench. He recently signed for them on a I think it's a free transfer. Don't know. Doesn't matter. But he's going to be in the squad for them as well. Jaden Anthony, he may, it might be a revenge game for him. He may want to over-impress. Connor Roberts as well will have a point to prove as well after he didn't get many opportunities here. So there's some interesting storylines woven in this match itself as well from an individual standpoint. Nick in the house saying here, can't see anything but a Leeds win. So confident. Love that, Nick. I absolutely love that. Hold on a minute. I absolutely love that. And I'll give my score prediction in a bit and we'll all do that also. But this would be my team. And I don't think it's going to be very different. Obviously, it won't be Cardalo in goal. But like I say, I can't, with good, sanity, keep on putting Melier in my preferred lineup. So I'm not going to do it. But I'd have Bogle, Roden, Ampadu, and I would put back Junior Firpo in at left back. I think a couple of people misunderstood what I said, or maybe I didn't make myself clear in the match reaction, but I didn't say Junior Firpo wasn't, looking rusty overall. I'm saying it was a great moment for Junior Firpo to come on instead of starting the game, so he got more match fitness. That's what I meant to say. If it wasn't clear, I apologize because I don't exactly remember fully what I said. So just to clarify that, but Junior Firpo was a plus when he came on against Norwich. But I think it's time he starts the game. But it would not surprise me if Daniel Farker doesn't change one player in the whole lineup. It wouldn't surprise me one bit. It's been successful in the previous two. He made early subs as well at times in these couple of matches, which is unlike him. And I just feel that if he puts out Byram at left back, it wouldn't shock me one bit. Gavin here saying, I think he may start Gruev. That's probably one that he could go with if Gruev is up to playing from the start. To see a more defensive midfielder in there against Burnley, especially with Josh Brownhill, who can hit you from the edge of the area and make late runs into the box. That wouldn't surprise me. Also, Allison here saying Firpo should start. He made a difference. A left footer playing in his proper position. Yeah, absolutely, man. If he's fit enough to start, Junior gets the nod for me. And it's absolutely nothing against Byram. He's been brilliant defensively. No one can take that away. But on the chance that we do get forward and it's a natural build from the left-hand side, you don't want someone checking back in and slowing everything down. You want Firpo to be there to overlap, put a ball across the 6-yard box, and that's what he's capable of doing, because I think chances are going to be very rare in this game. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope this is an absolute thriller of a game. I don't know. Both managers are just very similar, very cautious. I know Burnley just won their last game 5-0, but overall, Burnley, it's about defense first, which is like us as well. Adrian here saying, let's be honest, it will be the same 11 we had against Norwich. Yeah, I agree. Just moving forward, I've got Rafael and Tanaka there. And I've got pretty much the same. That is your Peru there. Let me get this ad off, man. What's going on here? Yeah, it's pretty much the same for me. Aronson in midfield, Manor Solomon on the left, Dan James on the right, and Peru up front. It's a coin flip at this moment in time between Peru and Joseph if you go enough form. But I just think with the kind of defenders Burnley have, it would do well to have someone like Peru who can take a technical touch, get involved in the air a little bit more, and have him start the game. And listen, and when it gets stretched, then maybe you put on Mateo Joseph for the last 20 if the game is at a balanced game state. Let's have a look. Annabelle here saying he didn't sub Peru though, which was surprising if he's to start Monday. No, I don't think so, Annabelle. We've had more than enough time between the last game and Monday, more than enough rest. And in all fairness, and this isn't being horrible, Joel Peru didn't exactly exude that much energy in the game, so he'll be good to start again. We need to get out of the mindset. Michael saying Peru, no, I understand. Listen, I get it. We need to get out the mindset sometimes about players and the amount of rest they need. I know this is a rough league, especially the kind of football you have to play in this division. But please remember that Norwich game. It was like a walkabout. It was like it was almost like a warm-up practice game. There wasn't a lot going on in the match. So even if players had completed 90 minutes, I'd still think you can roll them out Monday evening with no problems. So it's one of those. And you've seen in other teams, especially in the Premier League, players play game after game after game. That's the fitness you've got to have when you're in the Prem, fitness and quality. But listen, what are people saying here? Gavin saying Peru slows us down. Stick Joseph in there to occupy the centre halves. I understand that too. Alison knows saying Peru best finisher, which is true. Steve is outstanding, too good for this league. 0-0 probably. Chess match though. You got ahead with the score predictions, but you're right. Steve is very good at this level, and you're right. I think he could play at a high level. Not sure about Premier League. Maybe he could there. But I absolutely agree. He is better than the Championship. So hopefully he makes a mistake on Monday. One of those. David here saying, look better at the start of the season when Peru came on a sub. Yeah, listen, I'm not arguing it. Like I say, it's a coin flip for me. I'm not wedded to the Peru thing, but I do think at times, especially when Peru goes a little bit quiet, how many times then does he just come back with a goal and then we see this and it's like, I'm glad we started Peru. It's happened a few times throughout his tenure at Leeds United. So I'm hoping that that's another instance come Monday. I do. And Enzio here just saying here, Peru's the type of player who can take the chance when it comes. Absolutely. So with that being said, what did Charles Dunn say? Shall I scroll back up and see what Charles Dunn said? Right. Okay. Charles Dunn. Shout out to you. I knew I recognized that from the members. Oh, shout out to Russ as well, who donated a super thanks a couple videos ago. Very rude of me. I didn't thank you for that. So big up to you. I'm super excited and confident for this game. Burnley 0, Leeds 4, statement domination. Yeah, I think Charles as well, if I remember right, you still believe Bamford's our best striker though, don't you? If that's not you, I apologize. But yeah, in regards to this, let's get into score predictions so we can get on out of here and I can rest my my little vocal cords and just rest it. Because hey, we may have a signing to announce later. I'm not saying I know anything. I'm just saying you never know. You know, Danny Farker says we're out for reinforcements. Maybe we get a signing tonight. That would be nice, wouldn't it? But listen, my score predictions, and I can't shake it as much as I want. I'm going for a 0-0. So I hope with everything in my fiber, I'm incorrect, and we come away with a 1-0 win, 2-0 win, 2-1 win, whatever have you. 3 points would be absolutely delicious, but I can't shake 0-0 out my head. So here we go. Hyru going 1-0 Leeds. Mateo Joseph, 84 minute. Would love that. FB White saying 1-0 Raz injury time winner. Love that too. Nathan here saying 3-2 Leeds. Martin R saying we score first and lose 2-1. Gutted. Harlem Show going 3-1 Leeds. Allison going 2-1 to them, draw at best, hedging your bets. Listen, shout out to Cookie as well. Cookie's a member of the channel. He will name about 5 scores in his predictions. And then if one comes up, he'll say, I got it right. Tremendous hedging of the bets. Tremendous. Ryan here saying, I think we lose, unfortunately, but Leeds feel free to prove me wrong. Okay, cool. And again, that's not out the realm of possibility. Burnley are a good side at this level. 2-1 Peru party. Love that. Jed is saying Burnley will have 11 goals conceded after the game, 2-1 Leeds. And Hugo Love going 2-1 to Leeds. Listen, any other score predictions, even if you said them in the chat, please put them in the comments as well. And Bobby just saying to John, I think no chance, they barely can see goals at all. We smashed 4 past them. Football's a funny game. Who saw Hull City going to Sheffield United and winning 3-0? I know I didn't, but people, that is it. That is it for the preview. I do have to get off now, off the stream. Pause. But listen, hope you've enjoyed it. Would be lovely to see some movement in the transfer window. By the way, before we go, and this is not a whole thing on Sheffield United, but they did add a couple of players, and they have done so, and it's going to take a bit to gel. But that's the reason why I only want a couple of players that are pretty much going to be role players, just to shore up the squad, because I think we've got good harmony. I think we've got good synergy in the team. We don't need to disturb it too much, but we do just need to shore up a couple of the places, which is what Daniel Farker was saying. So hopefully we get that done. And a signing this weekend would be lovely. And like Harlem Show says here, people, before you go, like the video. And guess what? I'll see you in the next one, people. Peace out.